Hello students, welcome to the 10th standard social science class. Today we are going to learn about gender, religion and caste. But before starting the class, I want you to get ready as usual with a pen and a notebook to note down the important points while we are going through this important chapter. So are you ready, children? So if you remember, in the previous class, we actually discussed about the impact of gender on politics and especially how the women participate in politics in our country and what kind of discriminations they face in the society like India. Our top priority in this particular chapter now would be to learn about religion and caste and its impact on politics, especially in India or Indian context. So let us now turn to a very different kind of social division. This division is based on religious differences. This division is not as universal as gender, but religious diversity is fairly widespread in the world today. Many countries, including India, have in their population followers of different religions. As we noticed in our classes previously, in case of Northern Ireland, even when most of the people belong to the same religion, there can be serious differences about the way people practice that religion. Unlike gender differences, the religious differences are often expressed in the field of politics. For example, Gandhiji used to say that religion can never be separated from politics. What he meant by religion was not any particular religion, but moral values that inform all religions. He believed that politics must be guided by ethics drawn from religion. So human rights groups in our country have argued that most of the victims of communal riots in our country are people from religious minorities. They have demanded that the government take special steps to protect these religious minorities. Women's movement has argued that family laws of all religions discriminate against women. So they have demanded that government should change these laws to make them more equitable. All these instances involve a relationship between religion and politics. But they do not seem very wrong or dangerous. Ideas, ideals and values drawn from different religions can or could perhaps should play a role in politics. People should be able to express in politics their needs, interests and demands as a member of a religious community. Those who hold political power should sometimes be able to regulate the practice of religion so as to prevent discrimination and oppression. These political acts are not wrong as long as they treat every religion equally. So as we have learned, this religious division is not as universal as gender, but religious diversity is spread across the world. Unlike gender differences, the religious differences are often expressed in the field of politics. Human rights groups in our country have argued that most of the victims of communal riots in our country are people from religious minorities. Women's movement have argued that family laws of all religions actually discriminate against women. All these instances involve a relationship between religion and politics. Ideas, ideals and values drawn from religions can and perhaps play a very vital role in politics. Politics actually acts or political acts are not wrong as they treat every religion equally. So now we are going to learn about communalism. So what is communalism? All those things we are going to learn now. Communalism, okay? So the problem begins when religion is seen as the basis of a nation. As we have seen, the example of Northern Ireland somewhere in chapter 3 shows that the dangers of such an approach to nationalism. The problem becomes more acute when religion is expressed in politics in exclusive and partisan terms, when one religion and its followers are pitted against another. This happens when beliefs of one religion are presented as superior to those of other religions. When the demands of one religious groups or a group are formed in opposition to another, and when state power is used to establish domination of one religious group over the rest. This manner of using religion in politics is communal politics. Okay, communal politics means using religion in politics is called communal politics. Communal politics is based on the idea that religion is the principal basis of social community. So what is the basis of communal politics? Communal politics is based on the idea that religion is the principal basis of social community. Communalism involves thinking along the following lines. The followers of a particular religion must belong to one community. Their fundamental interests are the same. Any difference that they may have is irrelevant or trivial for community life. It also follows that people who follow different religions cannot belong to the same social community. If the followers of different religions have some commonalities, these are superficial and immaterial. Their interests are bound to be different and involve a conflict. In its extreme form, communalism leads to the belief that people belonging to different religions cannot live as equal citizens within one nation. That's what communalism believes in. Either one of them has to dominate the rest or they have to form different nations. This belief is fundamentally flawed. People of one religion do not have the same interests and aspirations in every context. Everyone has several or other roles, positions and identities. There are many voices inside every community. All these voices have a right to be heard. Therefore, any attempt to bring all followers of one religion together in context other than religion is bound to suppress many voices within that community. So, what kind of things can communalism take into? Let us see in politics. Okay, communalism can take various forms in politics. Let us see what are those. Okay, the most common expression of communalism is in everyday beliefs. These routinely involve religious prejudices, stereotypes of religious communities, and belief in the superiority of one's religion over other religions. This is so common that we often fail to notice it even when we believe in it. A communal mind often leads to a quest for political dominance of one's own religious community. For those belonging to majority community, this takes the form of majoritarian dominance. For those belonging to the minority community, it can take the form of a desire to form a separate political unit. Political mobilization on religious lines is another frequent form of communalism. This involves the use of sacred symbols. You might have seen some politics, in some political party they use sacred symbols to promote their political party. Religious leaders, emotional appeal and plain fear in order to bring the followers of one religion together in the political arena. In electoral politics, this often involves special appeal to the interests or emotions of voters of one religion in preference to others. Sometimes, communalism takes its most ugly form of communal violence, riots and sometimes massacre too. Okay, so what is a secular state? Okay, You might have learned about this in the previous classes too. Communalism was and continues to be one of the major challenges to democracy in any country, especially like a country like India. The makers of our constitution were aware of this challenge. That is why they chose the model of a secular state. This choice was reflected in several constitutional provisions that was studied last year, what we studied. Okay. So there is no official religion for Indian state. Remember, there is no official religion for India. Unlike the status of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has Buddhism as its state religion. Okay. For Pakistan it is Islam. Okay. Christianity for England. But our constitution does not give a special status to any religion. So these are some examples which I stated. Okay. To have a clear view about the secular state. So in India there is nothing called as a specific religion of our country. The Constitution of India also provides to all individuals and communities freedom to profess, practice and propagate any religion or not to follow any. Okay, a person can follow the religion of his choice in our country. The Constitution prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion. We can't discriminate, we should not discriminate persons depending upon religion. At the same time, the Constitution allows the state to intervene in the matters of religion in order to ensure equality within religious communities. For example, it bans untouchability. Understood in this sense, secularism is not just an ideology of some parties or persons. This idea constitutes one of the foundations of our country. Communalism should not be seen as a threat to some people in India. It threatens the very idea of India. That is why communalism needs to be combated. A secular constitution like ours is necessary but not sufficient to combat communalism. Communal prejudice and propaganda need to be countered in everyday life, and religion based on mobilization needs to be countered in the arena of politics. So, in India, we don't, as I briefed you, there is no official religion in India. The Constitution prohibits on grounds of religion. At the same time, the Constitution allows the state to intervene in the matters of religion in order to ensure equality within religious communities. So let us see the impact of caste on politics and caste inequalities. Unlike gender and religion, caste the caste division is special to India. All societies have some kind of social inequality and some form of division. Okay, so in India, the caste system is actually hereditary occupational division which was sanctioned by rituals. It was based on exclusion of and discrimination against the outcast groups. So actually, the caste system has greatly changed in modern India. With the growth of literacy and education, the old notion of the caste hierarchy is also slowly breaking down. Okay, slowly breaking down. So caste system is slowly dying down in our country, and we all are treated equal in the society like India. We can see a lot of change in the caste system in India. Okay, so it's a very positive signal that we are one and we are Indians. Don't forget that we are Indians first. Okay. So caste in politics. So caste can take various forms in politics. When parties choose candidates in elections, they keep in mind the caste composition of the electorate and nominate candidates from different castes so as to muster or to gain necessary support to win the elections. So when parties choose candidates, as I told you, they actually choose the candidate from the particular caste so that they are sure that they are going to win the elections. Political parties and candidates in elections make appeals to caste sentiment to muster support, as I told you. Universal adult franchisee and the principle of one person, one vote compelled political leaders to gear up to the task of mobilizing and securing political support. It also brought new consciousness among the people of castes that were hereto treated as inferior and low. The focus on caste in politics can sometimes give an impression that elections are all about caste and nothing else. That is far from true. Okay? That is far from true. So thus we can always come to a conclusion that caste plays different kinds of roles in politics. Exclusive attention to caste can produce negative results. As in the case of religion, politics based on caste identity alone is not very healthy in democracy. It can divert attention from other pressing issues like poverty or corruption. Because if a politician actually concentrates to give a more importance to caste, then he may forget many issues like poverty or corruption, which are playing a very major role for the economy to go back. So, do remember children, this lesson is to get a view about religion and caste and what role it plays. But do remember children that we are one. We are Indians and we have to strive further by removing all kinds of differences. There should be no gender differences, no religious differences, nothing called as difference within us. We should go together and see that our country prospers in each and every field. I hope you understood the lesson and put into practice whatever you learned. Actually, you must put into practice and see that our country grows. So, as in the previous class also I told you that these are different languages where they say thank you. Thank you so much children for giving your time. Hope you are reading well at home. Do complete your homeworks in time. Be safe. Thank you once again.